Welcome to the Wally Show Aftercast. All the stuff we did not get to during the course of the show today. I think we would be remiss if we didn't talk about the meeting from yesterday, since we did about 15 or 20 minutes on it, and we were vague about it and stuff. And I still want to be a little bit vague on it because of people, who are involved with it that might not want their part of this discussed or whatever. Again, nothing salacious. It's just business decisions moving forward on something. And so with that, everyone was concerned about my behavior in the meeting. And I wasn't sure. When we left yesterday's Aftercast, I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. And I didn't know. I literally didn't know till I walked in because I was like, and actually until I had a first few bites of Chipotle, I was not sure where I was going with this. So we walked into the meeting and I was definitely a little bit guarded, standoffish, if you will, protected. I was protecting my inner child. And so I wasn't sure if I was going to go mute and just not say what I thought, or if I was going to express my opinion, because I had been counseled all over the place. I had been counseled from other people saying, don't say a word, it can only hurt you, or say what you want to say, just say it nicely, play the game kind of thing. And so we get in there and Betty Rock instantly tries to sell me out. Instantly.
What? How?
I asked you. I said, will you sit next to me, please? Will you sit next to me in case I say something that if I'm getting worked up, you do that thing where you take your hand and you just jab me. And I'm like, okay, I know. Okay, good. Calm back down. We're good. But she tried to sit away from me. And
no, because there wasn't a space next to you. Someone had already claimed that spot. They had gotten up. Their stuff was already sitting there and they had left the room. So I had to be the rude one because of the drama king over there. And I had to move her stuff so that I could sit next to you because heaven forbid.
I know. I needed you. I needed you in that moment. I did. And so thank you for moving everything and thank you for sitting next to me. So as we start into this meeting, again, I'm not sure where I'm going. I don't know. And fortunately, somebody else asked a question in this meeting and it was a good question and it gave me a place to on-ramp one of the questions that I had been thinking about in this thing. And so once that happened, I was like, oh yeah, I'm in now. I'm all in. I cannot not speak in this.
I can't not speak.
Yes, exactly. And I think you probably had a feeling that it was going to go that way.
Oh, yeah. And as soon as I saw you open your mouth, I was like, oh, well.
Here we go.
He's off.
He didn't speak a lot longer than I thought he would.
Yeah, I did. I did make it 5 or 10 minutes. And then it's funny because after the meeting, a girl that we work with here goes, yeah, you have 2 meeting modes. One where you take over and it's your meeting, or 2, you're asleep.
Amen.
I know. It's very true. And I don't mean to. It's just kind of how I'm wired. And so that is kind of what happened. I had a million questions for this person.
I'm just going to do things and I'm just going to say it's just how I'm wired.
Mm-hmm. Well, you kind of do.
No, it's not.
That's
because
what the world
that's what
does,
the
guys.
Gen Zers do with It's My Truth. It's just saying the same thing.
That's what we do.
But
It's
I don't
just saying-
expect you
that's
to
just how I'm
navigate
wired.
around it. I expect you
But
just
we
to...
do navigate.
You don't
We
have
have
to.
to.
You don't have to.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Wait a minute. You just said I needed to move that woman's stuff so
Right.
that I could sit next to you.
I needed you as a friend in that moment.
Oh,
I
so that's
did.
different?
Yes.
No,
it
it's
is different.
not.
I needed you as a friend.
Just
A buddy.
accept it. You are a Gen Zer in a boomer body.
So anyway, we go through the thing, and I walked out of the meeting feeling good, though, honestly, and I walked out of there because I did say what I wanted to say, and I said it 90% of how I wanted to say it. I wasn't as curt as I could have been.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely, my tone was direct and and passionate, but I wasn't angry, I don't think. Did you think I was angry?
No, I thought you
Okay.
were very not angry, but you were definitely perturbed.
Oh,
You came
really?
across as perturbed.
Really?
Yeah, because you had your arms crossed and stuff, and you had dude, listen, I'm just going to be honest with you.
Right.
You said it like that.
Right.
So that comes across as you're perturbed and frustrated. So you definitely came across that way.
Oh, good.
But not
That's what I was going for.
angry.
Okay, well, that's better. Perturbed is better than anger. I was trying to be direct. I think sometimes you read perturbed or whatever as just direct or passionate. I like the word passionate. Very passionate about this first place, and I want it to do well. And especially if I believe something, I'm going to say it in a way that I am passionate and I'm telling you. So look me in the eyes and hear what I'm saying. So anyway,
and once he started talking and getting all of his issues out,
right.
His body relaxed more. He was able to sit back more. You can imagine Wally entering into an interview, It's not an interview. It's a meeting,
right?
Where he's got his arms crossed and his foot is just going 90 miles an hour. And then once he was able to speak his mind, then he was kind of more relaxed. And then he was just like, yeah, man. Yeah. That's a funny one.
It ended well. Like it ended well. And I had texted one of the people in the meeting and they were very appreciative because some of it was directed at them. They were very appreciative of the direct nature of it. Like there's no hidden agenda with me, and so exactly where we're coming from and what I expect of you and what you can expect of me. And so I think ultimately it came out well. Like I was happy leaving there. I felt really good leaving there, and maybe now
I could tell it
in
on
the
your
future.
Face.
Yeah, maybe now in the future I can work on moving from anger to perturbed to mildly annoyed to maybe something that looks like it's a conversation that could be had that wouldn't make someone cry.
What a sellout!
See, that's it, Gavin. Thank you. You get me.
Wow.
That's it. I did feel like I didn't sell out in that thing.
Good.
If I had walked out of there yesterday and if I had just remained silent and or sugar-coated everything, I would have felt like I sold out, and so I can't live like that. So anyway, so good news. Everything worked out, I think, well in the ultimate.
Go figure.
I know.
I said.
Betty did her dance. She did her I told you so dance, and I gave it to you.
Yeah, because you make the worst out of every situation. You prepare for the absolute worst. You're like, this is the end of my career.
Right.
My life is over.
Right.
Like, the classic drama king,
right.
Because, you're wired that way.
And had it gone that way, I was ready.
Yet it didn't.
Right. And so I was ready for that,
so
too.
your blood pressure went up for nothing.
My blood pressure did go up. And speaking of blood pressure going up, I had to take my blood pressure last night and jab myself in the arm. It's on our stories if you want to see it. My wife, for some reason, wanted to do these home medical kits, and she thought it was going to be like a blood test where you just give a little blood out of your finger. There's this disc thing they stick on your arm, and you push this giant red button, like the easy button for Office Depot, and it shoots you in the arm, and then you bleed out of your arm into a vial.
Nope.
Yeah, I was like, what in the world?
At home, too.
Yeah.
Not in the presence of a trained professional. You were doing it yourself.
By choice. Like, neither of us needed to do
world?
this. We've had physicals. We've had blood work done, but it was offered to us for free from our insurance company, and she was like, it's free. We should do this. I'm like, why? So there's a weird part of me that is like hoping that we find something wrong with one of us, me, not her. I'd rather it be me than her.
Don't say that.
But at least that way, that at least it warrants it, kind of thing. Because
it wasn't all for nothing.
Exactly. So that's what I'm hoping.
That makes a lot of sense.
But for me, not her. I want to be very clear. Maybe her. So we did all those. You can see them on our stories on Instagram. Just search Wally Show. And it was funny. I was a big baby, believe it or not.
What?
Believe it.
I know, right? Go figure. All right, we got to talk about this. This is in Gavin's wheelhouse as a sports guy.
Love it.
Martha Stewart is making the cover of Sports Illustrated at a spry 81.
I didn't know she was that old.
Yeah.
To be honest.
I didn't either.
So
I did not either. It was just interesting that that was their choice, and in this weird world of inclusivity and body image issues, I get why they're doing it. So they were. This is what's funny here. I didn't know that when she was younger, I guess it modeled for Chanel and somebody else. But she said, this time I was motivated by showing people my age can still look good, feel good, be good. I want other women to feel like they could also be on the cover. But this is my favorite part of this whole story is the justification by Sports Illustrated. Okay. So they do their swimsuit edition every year, which you can opt out of now if you don't want it come into your home, so your wife isn't like, oh, you're just a pig, and like, and I know why they do the Sports Illustrated edition. I've always found it stupid. Like I think it's dumb.
Yeah.
And guys that get all like, I can't wait for the Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition. Go to the beach then.
Yeah.
You know,
It's not like they're not. They maybe they try to promote it as like, oh, like the human body, it's a beautiful thing. But it's like, you know what? Like people don't look at the human body and go like, oh, I just appreciate that the human body is a beautiful thing.
We know why you're doing it, you know. But my
dudes.
favorite part is the justification for the magazine. Our goal with the 2023 issue is to continue to evoke captivating and thought-provoking conversations. While the industry wavers on its arbitrary notion of beauty, our issue has stayed the course, showcasing that women today are the women shaping the future in thongs. You know, it's so like transparent. You know, just own it. I think the older I get, the more I'm like, just own your mess. Just say, we do this because we know guys are going to want to look at it and they're going to ogle these women, and that's why we're doing it. Don't give me this fake, we're just empowering women by putting them in thongs. And thank you, though. I will say thank you to Sports Illustrated for not doing that with Martha Stewart.
I will say we'll see. We'll see what, like, you know, I don't think I'm going to care enough to double check this, you know, down the road, but we'll see what the numbers are on this magazine. If they were like, oh, record low sales on Sports Illustrated swimsuit mag. Like if it
was just her, probably.
Oh, true.
But they also put in Megan Fox, Kim Petras, and Brooks Nader. I know Megan Fox. I don't know who the other two people are. And so plus 8 rookies of the year. So they're still jam packing it full of the norm.
Like, part of the equation.
She's just the token on the front for their agenda, you know, and she doesn't even see that. She's being used by them. There's nothing to do with empowering women or saying, you know, oh, we really love the fact that you're 81 and you still look great. You know, it's so funny to me. But anyway, so that is going on right now. This was a weird thing. There was a McDonald's that is in trouble in Louisville because they found that 2 10-year-olds were working at McDonald's unpaid as late as 2 a.m. And when you see that, you're like, how in the world could anybody do that? But when you read more into it, you're like, oh, I totally get it. It's a mom that works there. She works the late shift. She's like a manager there, and she probably doesn't have childcare, you know, or she saves money by bringing her kids. How many companies bring their kids to work, like small businesses, like they bring their kids to work. Their kids work at their restaurants and things like that. I grew up working at my dad's place. My mom would ship me off every summer to go to work with my dad every day.
Yep.
You know?
Who can blame her?
Oh, absolutely. I don't blame that woman at all for anything that calmed me down. But so when you dig into it, they're still in trouble because you can't have these kids working there in essence, you know? And the real funny part of this, though, the thing I cued in on was one of the big issues was they were at 10 years old working the fry machine. And they're like, you cannot have 10-year-olds working
calling it dangerous.
These fryers. It's dangerous. You cannot. They can't make that decision to work these fryers. But then if you flip that out to the other conversations going on in the world today, but these same 10-year-olds can pick their gender. Like it's the most ludicrous thing. You're like, we need to protect these children, and they cannot work a fryer. They don't have the mental capacity to safely work this fryer. But if they want to change their gender, how dare you get in the way of them? If you try to get in the way of them, you are a bigot and a hateful person, and you want children to commit suicide. Like that is the new narrative that is showing up inside of all this trans and LGBTQ transing of America, is that now it's like, well, you don't care about these kids. And that nothing could be farther from the truth. People that are telling them the truth, I would say, care about them more than the people that are like, great, another one for the agenda, you know? Yeah. And so I just found that association like super, super interesting. Lady Rock, what do you got?
With the next update of your iPhone, you could see a new feature. It's called Personal Voice. So this feature will allow your phone to replicate your voice after only 15 minutes of reading prompts and training. Yeah.
Scary.
So they had a good heart behind it. The purpose behind Apple creating this personal voice feature, it's meant to be used by those with disabilities, like, for instance, people with ALS. It's a disease that causes the individual to lose their voice over time.
Well, and if they could do that before,
and
they could so great.
They could really benefit from it. And while they mean well. Many are fearing that this personal voice feature will be used more in the negative light, like scammers, making it harder to know when you're being scammed.
For sure.
And also TikTokers using it for pranks.
Oh, for sure.
To get more likes and views.
I would love, to have the ability to have your voice or what sounds like your voice for people like after they've passed away, just to hear their voice again. Because I know that's something my wife has said. She's like, oh, I'd love to just hear my mom's voice again. We don't have a lot of recordings of her mom, but she has, what do you call them? Cameos, not cameos.
Marco
Marco Polos.
Marco.
She has Marco Polos from her dad because her dad got on Marco Polo for a while and would just tell her like every day a good morning update. And well, I had the eggs today at Perkins and they were a little runny, but you know what? They were good. The toast was good though. So she has all of these long things from him that she goes back to and she'll revisit them when she's sad about missing him. And I love that. And so even if it's AI, it would be kind of cool.
Well, this would be like if people with ALS or something happened with their voice that they can't use it, they could type things out and then the phone could read it in their voice.
Mm-hmm. It's so great.
It's just pretty awesome.
I love that. The other part of this, there is a current scam because you can do deep fakes and there's AI that you can get audio from people. And if you say you go and you catch a video of someone online, you can put their audio through this AI and then you can make it say what you want it to say. And so what they're doing now is they're having the phone call a relative and be like, I'm in Mexico and I'm in so much trouble. I messed up last night. I need your help, please. And it's in their voice.
Right.
Grandpa, please. There was a story on Good Morning America today of a grandfather that got scammed out of $1,000 thinking he was helping his kid because it sounded like, or his grandkid, because it sounded like his grandkid, and he thought he was doing the right thing. And so, it's getting harder and harder to avoid being scammed. And the older you get is where you really get worked, man. I feel so bad. My mom is going through a thing with her bank and she didn't get scammed, but someone stole her check out of the State Farm mailbox. She went to the post office to mail it directly so it wouldn't be taken out of hers. Someone broke into State Farms, took the check.
You'd think she'd be fine.
And it's a nightmare. Yeah. And so then here's where it gets weird. So she's working with the banks to try and get it rectified. So whoever it was that took it, they have some scribbled initials on the back. It's definitely not a banker. They went to a check cashing place. The check cashing place cashed the check. That's who is the problem. Yeah. They're working with people to scam you or to basically
make
funnel the money.
Easy, yeah.
Because without a check is useless to someone until you cash it. And so these check cashing places, they are accepting checks that they should not accept. There's the insurance company is like, there's no way they should have cashed this check. They know it wasn't from us because it doesn't have this, and this, but they did anyway. So somebody on the inside is working that angle. And my mom was kind of the victim of that. And she did everything right.
People need to, those kind of people I can't stand. They need to just get a job.
Yeah.
Just get a job.
It's crazy. And so they, what did they do? Oh yeah. So they, we're trying to work it out. They say they'll get it worked out, but it's going to take 60 days. And then she had to cancel her account and start a new one because the check had all of her information. Yeah. Routing number, bank account number. They could have done far worse.
Right.
But again, it goes back to the check cashing place. There are good ones. I wrote a check to a guy that did some screening for me at my house. And so I wrote him a check, and he went to a check cashing place that day to get it. He doesn't have a bank account, whatever. I don't know. And they called me directly, and they said, hey, we've got this guy here. He says he got a check from you for doing this. Is that true? I'm like, absolutely, that's true. And so they did their due diligence because they were doing it on the up and up. But unfortunately, you got places that won't. So, with that said, Lady to the Rizzock. No. Wait, was that I'm not doing what you're asking me to do?
No, we don't have any.
Okay, that's better. That I can accept.
I didn't know if she needed another grand entrance like we did for you.
No, you don't control me is a whole nother issue.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's true too.
Perception.
Right. Well, I guess that is going to do it for our Aftercast for today.
As always, thanks for being a potty.